Elizabeth is a school teacher, and when the school year is over, she wants to quit her job because it is close to her marriage and she can't teach anymore. She's giving her final speech and wants to say goodbye. And although she wants to pretend that she is sad, but actually she was waiting for this opportunity her whole life. She hated her job, and for years she was looking to find a rich guy to marry so she wouldn't have to teach anymore. The day is over and she returns home victorious, and when she arrives, she sees her fiancé and her fiancé's mother sitting on the couch, and the man has packed all his bags. His mother says that their relationship is over, and plus she tells his son that Elizabeth is with him only because of his money. Elizabeth does not agree at first, but then the mother asks her about his son's birthday, and Elizabeth completely forgot about it, and worst of all, it is his birthday. She agrees to everything with shame, and she doesn't want to return to a school. But actually she has to return because she doesn't have a choice. There is no point for quitting her job after she broke up with her fiancé, and now she has to get back to work, and of course she needs the money. The first day of her return, one of her co-workers, Amy, who always had problems with her, talks to her sarcastically and kind of makes fun of her. Elizabeth is super mad, and inside her class, she looks at a celeb magazine and she realizes that all the celebrities have huge boobs, and she puts a circle around Katy Perry's boobs. So like this, she decides to get a boob job so she can attract hot men. At lunch, she tells her friend that she went to lots of high-class restaurants and coffee houses all the summer, so maybe she could land herself a rich guy. But these days all the men are super protective, and worst of all, they all carry condoms, so she doesn't have a chance to get pregnant and stay with them. The reason that she wants to get a boob job is that she doesn't want to stay behind from all the huge boobs she sees walking on the streets. Amy starts the first day super energetic, but Elizabeth is drunk and hungover at the same time, and she doesn't have it in her to teach. So inside her class, she decides to put a film for the students, and then she's eating cookies that one of the students brought for her. She spits them out and says that the student's mother sucks. The students watch the movie and she falls asleep. In the break, when she's eating lunch, the PE teacher, Russell, goes to talk to Elizabeth and respectfully asks her out, but Elizabeth always wanted a rich husband, so she turns him down. In the hallways, she sees a hot young teacher by the name of Scott, and this makes Elizabeth think of naughty stuff and wants to show herself to him. She also realizes that Scott just recently broke up with his girlfriend, and when she finds out who was Scott's girlfriend, she sees that she had huge knockers too. Unfortunately, a boob job costs 10 grand and she only has 45 bucks in her bag. Elizabeth goes to principal's office and wants to talk to him into replacing her instead of Amy to watch the car wash activities of the school. She wears a sexy outfit and goes to wash the cars, and of course she's really great at it, and she picks up lots and lots of suggestions there. But whatever she tries, she can't persuade Scott to date her, and Scott is not interested. A few days later, at lunch, Elizabeth sees Amy and Scott are talking to each other and they are having a great time, and this makes it 10 times harder for Elizabeth because she hates Amy. Elizabeth does not have enough money for the boob job, so she starts to bribe the students' parents in return that she will give them great points and notes, so maybe she can get the money. She even starts to pick up trash from the streets to have the money. She really wants the boob job. Although all of these activities did make her a lot of money, she still has a long way to reach 10 grand. That night, there is a party at the school and Elizabeth and Scott are dancing, and suddenly, Scott tells her that they should go somewhere to be more private. Elizabeth is super excited and horny, but when they arrive at the private location, Scott says that he fell in love with Amy, and Amy is a pretty good girl. Elizabeth gets really mad and says Amy is a great girl, but she's a lesbian, and she wants to talk to Scott out of this, but she can't make it. That night, Scott goes on stage and sings a song, and Elizabeth finds out that this song is for Amy. Elizabeth is so dumb and stupid because she still thinks that Scott is into Amy because of her boobs, and she really wants to do the boob job again. Then she finds out that if her class gets the highest scores, she will get the Best Teacher award, and with that she can win a lot of money, so the boob job is back. Super seriously, she starts to work and there is no movies in her classes, there is no napping, and there is no nothing. But the things do not go well, and the kids are not successful. Elizabeth is extremely mad and angry and of course disappointed at the children, and she thinks of an idea. She tries to steal the questions of the final exams. So she starts to talk to the main guy responsible for the questions, for holding the questions, a man named Carl. But whatever she does, she can't take the questions from him as simple as she thought. Suddenly she tells Carl that nothing makes her hotter than to have sex inside an office, and she wants to be drilled on a wooden table. Like this, she convinces Carl and they go to his office. She starts to make out with Carl and things go great for him, but suddenly Elizabeth steals the questions and just leaves Carl with blue balls. She then hands the questions to the students and everyone nailed the exams, and like this, she gets the Best Teacher of the Year award. And now she has the money for the operation, but Scott and Amy are still on her nerves. One day she thinks of another idea and puts a poisonous apple on Amy's desk. After eating the apple, Amy's face gets covered with acne, and of course she's allergic to it, so she takes a few weeks off. Now Elizabeth has a lot of time on her hand to work on Scott. There is a field trip and they go out, and finally she succeeds at approaching Scott, but the only thing that she gets is a hump with clothes on, but she calls Amy anyways and tells her what happened, because of course she wants to make her feel bad. Amy gets so angry, so she goes to a school and there is no one there. She goes to Elizabeth's class and she can't open the drawer, so she changes the desk with her own desk and tells the janitor that she lost her keys. The janitor opens the drawer, and when he leaves, Amy realizes that Elizabeth stole the questions. So obviously, she has what she wanted and she waits for Elizabeth to return. When she and Scott return from the field trip, Amy tells everyone everything. The fact that Elizabeth has slept with her boyfriend and she also stole the questions. And plus, she tells Elizabeth that she should wait for some huge consequences for the questions. Then we see some boys in blue are searching every class of the school and they have dogs with them. Suddenly, the dogs, instead of going to Elizabeth's class, they go to Amy's class because Elizabeth put lots of drugs in her drawer. The cops arrest Amy for the drugs and she has to resign. A few days later, Scott talks to Elizabeth and wants to start a relationship, but Elizabeth turns him down and she goes towards Russell. She knows that Russell is not rich, but she realizes that he's the one who loves her for who she is. The summer is over and the schools are back, and everyone sees that Elizabeth did not touch her boobs and did not go through with the operation because Russell said everything is great. She gets her bag and this time she doesn't go to a class, and at the end of the movie we see that she has become the school counselor and only God knows what she will teach the poor children. This was a recap of the movie Bad Teacher. If you like this recap, make sure to check the recap of Blockers. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Goodbye.